Hey Nelson, how's it going? It's great to have you on this interview. How's things with you over in Switzerland?
This one. Hello, everyone. All good. Thanks, Richard.
Good. I'm
Nice
always
to
jealous when I see
be
your
here.
pictures on Facebook. It's a beautiful part of the world by the looks of it.
It's like a paradise up here.
Yeah, definitely. So I wanted to jump on. I mean, Nelson and I have known each other for some years now, haven't we? Quite a while. Nelson's been a great customer of mine. I really enjoyed seeing him grow in his home business and his other ventures. And we message back and forwards regularly. And I saw that Nelson had got some really great results recently, like a big breakthrough. You know, his monthly income was rising. The way he's been able to do that, he's now got a process that's growing more predictably. So I know that a lot of you that follow me, you're in home business, you're looking to try and find a way to increase your results sharply and predictably. So I thought, well, you're probably sick of hearing me bang on about how my results and things that go. So let me bring somebody else in from the field and get that feedback. So probably just a great way to start is just tell us a little bit about how you first got into home business, how you first got into network marketing. What was that like? How did you get introduced to the business model?
So I was introduced to network marketing. It's been like 10 years now. It was a friend of mine who told me about, and I was like looking for like some solution because I'm a personal trainer, and back then I was a gym owner, and the business was not very good back then, and basically I lost like everything, and I got in network marketing in home business like a solution
Mm.
to keep dreaming again. So basically it was like the best solution and the easiest way to start like a new business.
Yeah, I didn't realize I knew obviously you're a personal trainer, but so that's really similar to both our stories. That was the exact same way that I got
Yeah.
introduced. The health club went and so was it just like a personal friend just said, hey, maybe you should come take a look at this, or did you seek them out? How was the details?
It was a personal friend that invited me to watch like a presentation, and I didn't realize that this kind of business was possible back then
Yeah,
in the days. So we
yeah.
are like educated, like go to college, study, or like normal business,
Mm,
like gyms or a normal store.
sure.
That's the way we are educated. So I didn't realize that was like something possible. The first question was like, "This is legal?" Because it's
Yeah.
like so amazing, and it was a way to keep my dreams.
Yeah, no, I think that's really important and something that I've asked that question to a lot of people. How did you get started? And there's a huge variation in how people are introduced. I was speaking to somebody today. She said, oh, an online advert, right through to personal friends and everything in between. But something I think that like sticks out is the decisiveness of those of us that have got any level of results. It's always been like, okay, I didn't know all the details. I just knew it was going to get me to where I wanted to get to. And I think
Yeah.
that goes a long way for those of you that are listening or watching and be like, oh, how should I market my business to attract more people that actually stick at this? Nelson's been 10 years, I sponsored hundreds of people. How can I attract people like that? Well, don't think you need to talk so much about what it is and go through all the specific details. Talk more about what it does. People want to see where they are now and how they're going to get to where they want to be. So I think that's a great point you highlighted there. So what was it like at the beginning then? Did you get like quick success? Was it quite difficult? What did it start off like?
So the first years, I struggled,
Mm,
because like I'm an introvert, and this kind of business, the way they operate, and they still operate
mm,
now a little bit more online. But back then was like online. It was like doesn't exist.
mm.
So it was like 101, like talking with people, strange people in the street, in the supermarket, wherever you are. Like you see someone nice shoes. Uh,
Yeah, we've all been there.
for someone like me, like introvert, it was
Mm,
like very very difficult.
mm,
So basically it was like that back then, and the results were not like very good. So I
mm.
was like struggling
Yeah.
and frustrated.
Yeah, I think there's a process that everybody goes through that it's difficult to realize there's alternative approaches because we're a product of our environment, right? And if the person that brought you into the company, obviously you trust them enough to pay to sign up with them, then the company and their leaders, and like there's this whole environment. And if especially if it's your first experience, everybody's saying, oh no, 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 the way we do it here is we do it this one way.
Yeah,
It's very
and you
difficult
follow
to
the
feel like
rules.
you can go against that, isn't it?
Yes, super difficult. So it's difficult to stay out of the crowd. Like, and if you try to do something different before, you need to prove it, of course. But it's difficult to even though to prove it, because even if you try to teach your downline something like more specific, there's always like the big crowd that is following like the traditional, and then you lose like power.
Mm.
It's very difficult to start.
Yeah, it's always puzzled me that particular part. As much as I love network marketing, how we're supposed to be an industry of sort of open-mindedness, right? We're always saying, oh, people are so close-minded to our business model. They presume it's this, they criticize us for that. And yet within the industry itself, we've got to admit that so many leaders and companies that are very closed-minded to letting people become entrepreneurs. Like the reason I got involved, same as yourself, was I wanted to maintain my dreams. I wanted freedom, not just financial, but how I
Yeah.
pursued that. So it's always been puzzling to me that we say, hey, we're a really open-minded industry. Let's help people create freedom, but only if you do it this way, and don't you dare kind of disagree with that. It just seems it always troubled me. But obviously we broke free, you did too. What was that kind of turning point? When did you first think, hang on a minute, like I'm going to pursue a different technique? Was there like a particular event you can remember?
No, basically it's like, it was not a company event back then. It was like me and my wife, we achieved like a very good rank in our company, but always doing it in part-time. And we moved to Switzerland. It's been like 7 years. And we follow the traditional, but in this country, to follow the traditional, we were like working a lot and struggling, not because of the money, but because of the time and duplication. So the things that we were doing was not so duplicated, so easy to do in this country, because here the salary is like above, let's say 4,000 a month. And for example, like in Portugal, is like average salaries, like let's say like 800 or even 1,000 is more attractive to have an extra income of 3,000. And in Switzerland is different. So we were working lots of hours, and I was looking when I first started with a traditional business, and I was doing like traditional business because I was doing the same amount of work that I was doing back then. And the reason that I chose like network marketing was have more freedom, and that was not happening at the moment. That's when I was looking, and I found you, and all started from there.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad it was a happy beginning. Yeah. I remember when we first connected, and I think that's, again, like I love doing these interviews because people have a different perception that makes me think differently about the industry too. And so often we're obsessed with, like when people first join, especially, okay, who's my poorest financial friends, right? Who's the poorest people? Like, they obviously need it the most. Let me just try and go get them in. And then what we don't realize is it's not just about the money. Like there is lots of different ways in this year, in this environment, online, offline, that people can make extra income. The most important part of it, once you've got the extra income, is how do you maintain it? How do you grow it? Because typically how you build something is usually 90% of the way you maintain it. So everyone that's saying to me, oh, well, I can, if I just work like 50, 60 hours a week for the next 5 years, and that will build me a team, I'll cold call or I'll, whatever, right? I'm like, you'll be miserable. You'll miss out on all that time with your family. I mean, I've got a daughter. I wouldn't want to bypass 5 years of a life. That's unforgivable for me. But also, like, what then? If you've got this team and you've built it this way and they're all trying to do the same thing as you, like, unless you want a whole bunch of people who are like call center operatives and they don't like it, like you've got to have at least something that puts leverage in there, because nobody, I mean, I'm an introvert like you, but even extroverts, they're not always wanting to be fantastic at face-to-face sales and prospecting and things like that. There's other avenues. So cool. So you found me. Obviously, I I came in with like, okay, systemized predictability. I love all that kind of good stuff. Um, it took some time, I know, to kind of to adjust. It's difficult to go from one type of approach to another, but you've done that. So recently, I think you've seen the best results you've probably ever seen. I know from us chatting over the years. What do you think has changed to now mean that this is the best results you've ever got? I mean, was it like you mentioned, like €1,200 a month for the past 2 months in a row, something like that, which is a good income? What went into making those results recently?
So the difference, like I think, is like a process, because when I first start with the Home Business Accelerator,
Mm,
it was like lots of information. I tried
mm,
several things. All of them worked, but not. It's like I say, it's like the wine. It needs like more time
mm,
to understand all the process and to get more experience. And I remember, for example, you gave me one advice long time ago, and maybe because of me, and I was like not tired, but I didn't follow that advice. I
mhm,
quit too soon. I
mhm,
was getting some kind of results, but not the best results. And
mhm,
the advice that you gave me, I didn't follow. I just quit and restart another thing. So it was a lesson, because this year I got on that advice, and that's when I boomed. I
mm.
got the best results, and I said, "Damn, how did I? How the hell? How? Why did I quit so soon?" So
It's a
I
good
think it's
lesson, though.
like
It's a good lesson.
time and experience, and
Mm.
laser focus, and keep going, keep following it. So I think it's the best advice, and that's why, because I kept going, I got the best results in the last months.
Yeah, something. I mean, when you like couple together a great tactics, you then sort of. I always look when I first started coaching people. I was like, why is there such a variation in results? I would teach people back then, before I knew about how to create programs and leverage myself, I would teach people one-on-one coaching, right? And I was like, I'm having a very similar conversation with a whole spectrum of people. What is separating those that are doing really well with those that don't seem to make much of an improvement? I'm like, the results are great, the percentage is really good, but I want it to be the best it can be. And I forgot that time is a factor.
Yeah,
Like, it's such a fast world we live in. You want the answer to any question you can imagine, it's in the palm of your hand,
yeah,
24/7. You want to buy something, it's in the palm of your hand, it's there the next day or the day after. We're just not used to planting some seeds and water. Unless we water them and we see the shoot straight away, everybody's like, dig up the seeds, they're rubbish seeds. And patience, like, success for me requires more than anything is faith and bravery, because it
yeah.
isn't always going to appear clear. And then closely followed by that is patience. It isn't as attractive as saying, a secret script or whatever, right? But that really is the multiplier effect. So I'm really proud of you, because
Thank you
that's
very
the
much.
toughest part. No, you weren't it. The toughest part of this game is, in spite of something not appearing as good as you might have hoped for, missed expectations, it's having that bravery and that backbone to say, well, you know what? No, I stick with this process. I found something I know that's going to work, and then seeing that to fruition, which you've done. So what was your most recent results? I can remember you messaged me and said that you got a certain number of, was it three
Okay,
clients a week or two clients a week or something like that, which is phenomenal.
average three clients a week.
Mm,
We got more
yeah,
sometimes,
excellent.
but it's like a process.
Yeah, yeah.
And because I learned with you the weekly meeting,
Hmm.
since I'm doing that, it's like I understand where I'm failing and what can I improve.
Hmm.
And it's amazing, like with such a small details. Like
Hmm.
if I have less energy levels, my voice is different when I'm
Hmm.
doing like the sales,
Yeah.
following the script that you gave me. And you said me also to record sometimes to listen to myself. And it's like there's on I say the best results are on the small details.
Yeah.
So with that analysis, during the once a week, I can like say exactly why I didn't get the best results, and what can I do to improve it. And that's the way we can go forward,
Yeah.
improving week by week.
It's a tactic I learned from the British cycling championship. The people that own like ran the British cycling. It's called marginal gains, and what they did was the British cycling team was huge, very unsuccessful, no medals, no Tour de France wins. So they brought in a new coach, and this coach could see that the team was constantly, instead of making progress, they were always waiting for the big leap. Like they would never really put any time or effort into anything that could make progress unless it was like, oh, but that's not going to make that much difference. So let's carry on looking for something where there's a bigger leap. And what he did, he said, well, no. If we actually add together like 1% improvement plus 1% plus 1% plus 3% plus 2%, when you put this all together, we could probably quite easily get 20%, 25% improvement. At an elite level, that's a huge, 25% faster in the final of any sport is a huge accomplishment. So he started to do things like he had the outdoor cycling team wear the indoor cycling uniforms that were all aerodynamic. So they shaved off a second here or there. He started to have them have their own sleep hygiene routine. So each of them were getting the best quality of sleep. You had their seats and their pedals and everything changed to fit the individual cyclists, and loads of little things like that, avoided things in their diet that irritated them, and all these type of things. He added them all up, and by the end of the period of his coaching, like they were winning. They cleaned up at the Olympics, 2 Olympics in a row. I think it was 2 or 3 Tour de France wins in a row, and it was all because of these marginal gains. So that weekly meeting tactic is marginal gains. Just to look in and, like you say, you listen to yourself and go, oh, I didn't realize I sounded like that. I should make an effort to sound this way. That's maybe 2 or 5%. So, but it doesn't sound much. But for every 10 people, every 100 people that you're speaking to, that's 5 more signups. If you can do that 2 or 3 times, your percentage has gone up 4 times, and it's a huge improvement. So, but 3 times, even like the worst it's ever going to be is 3 a week, because you just like got into the flow. That's crazy. Like most people don't even get 10 clients in their business in a lifetime. So to be able to do that more than that every single month and then grow from there because you have a predictable process is amazing. So anything you want to share, like anything that you think has been, obviously you've talked about like the looking in the marginal details, consistency. If anybody's listening or watching this right now and they're like, they're struggling, they want a breakthrough, they need something to improve, and they say, man, I wish I could get improvements like Nelson. Is there 1 or 2 pieces of advice you could give them from a personal perspective that you feel would help people?
So the best advice I can give to someone who is listening is like invest in yourself. And for sure, with this program, with all the details, it goes like it's very specific for network marketers. And at the same time, you can use that information for all fields on your life, and even for other business, because myself, as a personal trainer, I got excellent results also because I use some strategies, because you learn like Facebook ads, you learn how to market. So I improve like not only my network marketing business, online business, but also my normal, I say, work as a personal trainer. So and at the same time, it's not only buying. I had the chance to I made a friend with Richard, and he's always available. Just a simple text on a messenger, and he's always there to help. I think it's like the human touch that got me the best results. So thank you very much, Richard, for all the help that
you're welcome. That's very touching. Like I know we've become great friends. I've met some amazing people through this industry, and my favorite part, absolute favorite part of what I do is seeing other people get results. It always has been. Like ever since I was a kid, I love to help people more than I love to help myself. And it's really nice when you see something and you know it's going to work for them, and you just hope they have, like you're hoping, oh man, I hope they back themselves with this. Like I hope they buy the program, and then they buy the program. You're like, man, I hope they implement it and they know what they've got their hands on, and then they do. And I'm seeing this happen so many times. Are people really starting to talk about my program? I mean, it's been like a life's work, but I'm not like you. I'm an introvert. I don't go out there and do like the bikini photos, models, Ferraris and the flashy stuff. So sometimes I wonder about that, because that means I've not reached quite so many people as a lot of people do in this industry. But the people that I have managed to reach are now talking about, oh, you should try that, you should try that, you should try this program, right? and it's getting some real momentum. So I have no doubt, I'll continue to see you rise and rise and rise. We'll of course remain friends. And yeah, great advice. The only way that we can get new results is with new knowledge and new action. One of my favorite quotes is, we're not the highest version of ourselves we can imagine, we're the lowest version of ourselves we can tolerate. And when I first read that, it really made me think about my own standards. And I thought, man, if I'm to increase my standards and to my tolerance to go up, the only way I can do that is become a different version of myself. And the only way I can do that is learn from somebody that has what I want. So it really has stood me in good stead and continues to do so. I invest heavily in my education because I'm just hungry to be the best. Trying to figure it all out by yourself, you can do it, don't get me wrong, but it'll take you 20 years instead of 2. And I didn't want to take 20 years. I wanted to take 2. I wanted to take 2 weeks. I wanted it like yesterday. So great advice. Invest in yourself, take that knowledge, new action, review it, and go again, and you'll get results that you never could imagine. So where's the best place people can reach out to? So there's no doubt when people listen or watch want to say congratulations, or maybe reach out to you, see what you're working on, and where's the best place they can contact you?
Okay, by using Facebook, like Messenger, like Nelson Saraiva, Saraeva, or just email prof, like a
I'll
teacher.
put your Facebook in the interview if you like. So I'll stick a link to Nelson. If you're watching this on YouTube or you're in the podcast, there'll be a link.
Send me a message on Facebook. Should be fine.
Yeah, I'll put your link to your profile in the interview.
Cool.
So anyone listening wants to reach out to Nelson, just say well done, or asking about anything. The link, it'll be in the description line of the area of YouTube, or if you're on the podcast version, it will be the only link in the text area there. So, well, thanks for your time, Nelson. I really appreciate it. As always, anything I can help you with, just let me know. I appreciate you sharing that kind of your story and your advice. And
my pleasure.
Have a fantastic day, my friend.
You too. Take care, Richard.
Speak to you soon. Bye for now.
Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.